My name is Ben Bowler. I'm the Executive Director of Unity Earth, and it's my great privilege and honor to welcome you here today for today's very special adventure as we have our pre-symposium gathering. We're looking ahead to next week on the 7th and 8th of February and the major Unity Earth Symposium, which is taking in these collective visions for a new Earth. What does it look like? We're asking the question for a healed, whole, planetary civilization that's in harmony with nature and all of life. What does that look like from an intergenerational, intercultural, interfaith, interspiritual, international perspective? And so we're really excited to be beginning the journey today, all aboard the trust train. And this is really building on the extraordinary work of Connie and Andrew, who we'll get a full introduction with soon, and amazing co-creators that are taking us through that journey. So it's going to be a wonderful session. Welcome, everybody. We're going to be hearing a little bit later from Sadhviji Saraswati, Jonathan Granoff. We have some incredible music and sharing. So settle down, settle in, get your tickets, and let's get aboard the trust train. I'm going to do a quick introduction. We will travel on the trust train this evening with 4 different futurists. Our first conductor is Janice Hall. Janice is president of Natural Network International. She is a culture and business ecosystem designer and a social alchemist. And Janice, just before I bring you up, I want to ring the bell because it's time to go. We are all aboard the trust train. So Janice, let's get you unmuted and over to you.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I know we're all feeling the energy of chaos and change, and we're here tonight to share the positive side, but what might look like systems crashing down everywhere. So how do we ride the energy of chaos? Well, we're going to show you tonight. We're going to invite you all aboard the trust train. Now, I'm sure many of you have already traveled to the new Earth, and some of you go back and forth all the time to help others. You work as conductors, bringing others one by one or groups into the new Earth. And you know that the new Earth is a world that already exists. And it is there as when we are there, like future ancestors, and we all help to build this future. Informed by indigenous cosmology and quantum science, this is no airy-fairy trip. The trust frequency is like an interdimensional train we can ride to an evolutionary coherent future in the new Earth, of the new Earth, not the new Earth, all of the above. However, we can't reach our human potential and our future human selves while in the old paradigm. So that means we have to be cognizant of our thoughts, our words, our deeds, and our actions. And so we need to look for the teasers that try to pull us back into the old paradigm. The good thing, though, is that the trust train stops at every stage along your coherent future human selves. So it's patient, and it's forgiving, and it's loving. You are still a bit tentative of transiting on this trust frequency. You can take the local. The local gives you an opportunity to stop along the way and get rid of old words, old deeds, old assumptions, and old baggage. And if you are a bit more adventurous, you can hop aboard the express. And so now we're going to take us on some stops along this trust frequency to kind of check in and see where we are so that we can make the most of this frequency. So now I'm going to introduce you to Rita Marsh, who is the founder of the Center for Human Flourishing and a nonprofit educational organization in Colorado. And she's going to help us understand where we keep these old words and assumptions in our body so that we can be cognizant of them. And then Maureen will help us clear the tracks. So, Rita, why don't you step aboard the trust frequency train and give us a sense of what's
Thank you,
next.
Janice. Thank you so much. It's delightful to be here and delightful to be supporting the work of Connie and Andrew in the trust frequency. My background is in nursing, family nurse practitioner, but I became very interested in neuroscience, neurobiology, in the science of heart math and other areas of physiology that told me that in our bodies, in our cells, we can hold memories of past situations that can stop us from falling truly into self-love and becoming agents of our ascension in consciousness. And I'd like to tell you first about a gentleman I met a number of years ago. His name was Paige Bailey. And when I met Paige, he was teaching a program called Recovery. And it was a program of education that helped people move out of chronic pain states. And Paige had come onto this work because of his own life experience. He was a very talented musician and was to be a star in classical music performance with his clarinet, but an accident happened at a frat house and he was pushed through a plate glass door. The tendons and the arteries in his arm were severed. And when he woke after operation, tried to save his arm, the doctor said, "You will never play the clarinet again." He was devastated and he went into a period of several months trying to recover, the wound never healing. But he continued his studies in school and he was told by a professor, "I'm going to give you an aptitude test so you can find out what your future might be." He took the test and the professor, who he greatly admired, said to him, "Paige, you're going to be a master teacher." And those words changed his physiology. His wound started to heal. He moved out of chronic pain and he did become a master teacher. And he went on to develop curriculum at the college he was studying at. And then he thought, my goodness, how did this information change my physiology? And he realized that it was through receiving information, and a belief changed and his future had shown up and his whole physiology changed and he healed. So he developed a curriculum where people would be able to realize that shift in their consciousness and create new neural pathways, and healing and pain conditions could resolve. Well, the book that Paige took for guiding his curriculum was Larry Dossey's Meaning and Medicine. And this book was a great influence on my life also, that made me realize I could change my physiology. My younger daughter had 3 cats and she wanted to give one to our home. And I was terribly allergic to cats. And so she told me that, well, we'll have to send him to the pound if you can't take him. And really in my heart, I knew I loved this cat, but I didn't want to be miserable with allergies. So I happened to pick up this book, Meaning and Medicine, and came across this phrase that said, all the stuff in our bodies originated in the not in the DNA of our parents, but in the interior of the stars, a minimum of 1 billion years ago. These stars eventually exploded after cooking their ingredients, spewing them into space. The planets were formed out of this material, and our bodies eventually came into being. Thus, we have our origins in the stars. This is not mystical or a poetic observation, but a scientific fact. Well, my whole physiology shifted. I realized if I'm from the stars, the cat's from the stars, and I can no longer be allergic to this creature. And so it was so. We welcomed that Andy cat into our household, and I didn't have rashes and I didn't have teary eyes. I was fine. So I just wanted to lay that information out to you to know, so you would know that if you take on new assumptions, your physiology can change, and especially if it's imbued with love, it will take you into the new future, into the new earth. Thanks. And I want to invite Janice to come back and introduce Maureen, who's going to help us clear the track.
Okay. So thank you, Rita. We now know that we may feel like we're stuck in our cellular memory of the past and the ancestral trauma, whatever it might be. But right now, we're going to learn how we can clear the track. So Maureen Edwardson, who is a futurist, pioneer, and author and originator of inner resonance technologies, which is fully explained in her book, Your Magical Evolutionary Code Unleashed, the Science of Inner Resonance. He's going to help us clear the track and help you release the background noise, whatever that might be, fear, doubt, anxiety, all that stuff. It's just stuff. It's energy. So when you release that and you shift that energy, you become the vision keeper that allows you to flow completely and easily in the rest frequency. There you go, Maureen.
Well, welcome everyone, because we're going from mind. We know that mind matters, and we are in this interdimensional adventure today on the trust train. And so we are all also out of our minds, because our mind is also a field all around us where the signals originate. And so now let us just breathe in that love, that conscious loving universe. And I invite you to just join into just relaxing with your breath, breathing in and out of your heart with presence. And as you're present with your breath, remembering who we truly are as spiritual, infinite beings, part of and one with the conscious, loving universe. And inviting, there's seats for all. So inviting all of our guides, all of our angels, all of our spiritual team, if you have any of those hanging about, and knowing that they're always present with us as we say, yes, please, and thank you. And also allowing that our individual vehicle of traveling with the trust train, our bodies are fully ready as instant responders to infinite consciousness. And they're always ready and waiting to be there now. And so now allowing all of anything from the old paradigm that says, I can't, or I'm not sure how, or I'm scared, or I have all this drag of all this weight that slows down the train. All of what is no longer essential in the old paradigm. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So we're just clearing all of the muddied water of the meltdown of the caterpillar of the old paradigm, as we now go into the other realms beyond the conscious mind and beyond the body's need to act anything out. So allowing all unresolved issues that are no longer relevant to where we're going and how to collaborate and how to be there in full trust of the new assumptions, the 10 assumptions with the conscious loving universe in the trust frequency. So just clearing the tracks, clearing the way, and just allowing all parts of who you are in any ways, any limitations or fears or anxieties to be addressed and dissolved, cleared physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, relationships of every kind, because it's all connected and it's all here now. And allowing all levels of memory to be cleared, your whole life, every microsecond, all the way back to when you popped into the world, all the time you swam around inside, drinking up your mama's soup, right to the moment you were conceived, and all the generations of your ancestral memory that is no longer relevant to this moment and to where we are going. And allowing all of the memory of your soul, past, present, concurrent, parallel realities, to come into, and future, to come into a whole new congruency and coherence, to give us a whole new capacity of open space to align with the trust frequency, with the conscious loving universe, which is our divine self and our birthright, as we come into a confluence to co-create together. And so all of the air that we're breathing in, it's all recycled. We have molecules of memory from the whole history of the planet. We also want to include galactic memory, whatever that could mean to each of you, and the greater cosmic wholeness of oneness that we are all part of and breathing with, the great breath. So take a breath in and out of your heart center, 360. And just allow that there is a part of you that knows how to clear the way, how to come into a new congruency, a new level of coherence that gives us a whole next level experience of our greatest, grandest selves, all together, already in the conscious new earth together, as we create the foundation with the trust frequency today, as Connie and Andrew will be sharing what the assumptions are. What are the 10 assumptions for being with the new earth and traveling together? And so now, just allowing that part of you that is choosing for all of this to be safe and appropriate for you and all concerned at all times, to say yes, allowing the journey to be one of greater ease and gentleness that we've been used to in the old paradigm, allowing effortless grace to just flow along that track and have a joyous time together, really enjoying the journey as well as our destination of simultaneous arrival. And so also allowing the part of you that's ready to be part of and one with this new earth, and taking on this next level of foundation so that we can move forward together and create in unison and harmony. And so also allowing the part of you that is open to something different being possible in a different way than what we've been used to in the old paradigm. Beyond the mind, beyond the body's need to act anything out, to come into a whole next level of allowing and full receptivity to the trust frequency and the 10 assumptions for a new earth. And so here we are at this moment of shifting between the old and the new with the best of all. Thank you.
Incredibly wonderful concept, because it gives us the opportunity to know and understand that there is a very direct pathway, but it's provided by physics, by science, by our bodies, by Mother Gaia, by all the forces that exist. It's meant to be. So what we need to do is just embody it, learn it, live it. And you've given us a pathway. I have worked with Maureen in releasing some of my old paradigms so they don't carry them any longer. And it's remarkable work that she offers to all of us. And now I'd like to introduce Connie and Andrew, my dear friends for many, many, many years. And they are futurists like.
Here.
Are you there? Are you there? Okay. And they're photographers, they're filmmakers, they're authors of The Trust Frequency, which is 10 assumptions for a new paradigm. And it's very difficult to encapsulate the both of them in a sentence or two. But they are visioneers in the true sense of the word. And have been living this work for decades and decades and decades. So without further ado, I will let Connie introduce you to the next level of the trust frequency.
Well, Andrew's going to lead us off, actually. Have a little male energy in this game.
Yeah, when I was a little boy, I thought I might like to be a train driver. You know, you'd see these trains puffing up the mountainsides in South Africa where I grew up, and oh, it'd be interesting to be driving that train. So here we are I'm driving this train. You are passengers, many of you, some of you are conductors, my sisters on this adventure, and we all make assumptions. And here's a spoiler: change your assumptions and the world changes with you. It's that serious, it's that simple, it's that true. The world we are currently experiencing is based upon a lot of assumptions that have been in our species for a very long time. It's time to let them go. So I have some really awful news for some of you, those of you who loaded your baggage on the train, and it went into the back car, which is called the baggage car. And when we left the station, we left the baggage behind. Oh. Sorry about that, folks, but you're not going to need it. I hope you brought your bathing suit because we're heading for a tropical paradise. It's going to be fun. So a tiny bit more seriously, this is serious work, but fun work. And we can laugh and giggle and kiss and stuff like that. We're newlyweds, so we're allowed to. And Connie is going to guide us on a meditation at this point. We're just going to sit and go on an inner journey on this train. Maureen, thank you so much. There were some boulders on that track. We heard it had snowed and some rocks had come down. She got them cleared. So the track, as far as I know, is completely clear from here to the new earth. Woo! And the old earth, we love you. Goodbye. Onward and upward. Connie?
Yes, it's a frequency thing. So onward and upward to higher frequencies and higher vibrations. And now we'll go on a little bit of a journey through a meditative state where we'll introduce our definitions and our 10 assumptions. And so just sit in your chair with a open, receptive state. Take 3 deep, slow breaths. Now, focus on your inner knowing, wherever that manifests for you, in your heart, in your body, in your right brain, in your left brain. Allow the words we will be offering to flow through that space without judgment. Accept them as absolutely true. Let any resistance melt into the now space and just be with the ideas that create the container for our time together. We will first offer some definitions of the words we will be using, then 10 assumptions for a new paradigm. Assumption, a core belief which we take to be true without question.
Would you like to alternate on this?
Yeah.
We're going to alternate on these definitions. A paradigm is a set of agreed upon assumptions which create a consensus reality.
Humanity, a collection of divine, autonomous, sovereign beings who have chosen to incarnate on earth to learn and grow on their soul's journey to wholeness, each with an individual purpose and a unique gift in alignment with our divinity.
Love, the fundamental unifying and creative force of the universe.
Frequency, the vibratory rate that determines the characteristics of a particular reality. There is a wide range of frequencies, each with its own reality and its own distinct laws.
The trust frequency, where the soul's destiny awaits with more abundance, balance, freedom, and joy than we can fathom, where the true nature of the universe is experienced.
Free will, the right to choose one's frequency.
Circumstance, the seemingly uncontrollable outward events that influence our decisions.
Consciousness, universal consciousness, the primordial life energy of the universe. Human consciousness, the 7 aspects of being human over which we have choice: awareness, assumption, attitude, attention, alignment, action, and allowing, which determine our frequency.
And finally, the universe, all that is, both manifest and unmanifest, also known as God, Creator, Atman, and so on. We call it the conscious, loving universe.
And now for the 10 assumptions.
And do you remember what I said about change your assumptions and the world changes with you? The first assumption, we live in a conscious, loving universe. There is only love.
Second assumption, the universe loves us unconditionally. It gives us everything we ask for.
The third assumption, we create reality by the power of our consciousness.
Fourth assumption, the 7 A's of our consciousness, awareness, assumption, attitude, attention, alignment, action, and allowing, determine our frequency and are our requests to the conscious, loving universe.
The fifth assumption, free will is an absolute law of the universe. We have the freedom to choose our frequency. We are masters of our own destiny.
Sixth assumption, circumstance guides us on our journey to wholeness.
The seventh assumption, there is only now, this precious present moment. Living trustingly in the now, we experience the true nature of the universe.
Eighth assumption, all of creation is one. Separation is a man-made illusion. We are the conscious, loving universe.
Assumption number 9, humanity is on an evolutionary upward spiral, leading inexorably to a higher reality, the trust frequency, heaven on earth.
The 10th assumption. The trust frequency is a real place of unfathomable joy, peace, freedom, and abundance that is freely available to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Now, take a moment to assimilate these words, ideas, phrases, and assumptions. This construct on the conscious, loving, abundant nature of the universe that loves us more than we can fathom in the current paradigm.
We will close with this sentence that is a handy reminder of how to access the trust frequency and the new earth. It's in fact the foundation of a new earth. The 7 aspects of our consciousness that determine our vibration and frequency, and thereby our reality. They are our requests to the conscious, loving universe.
With expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, I choose my attitude, consciously direct my attention, align with my highest inner promptings, take committed action, and allow the loving universe to manifest beyond my wildest dreams.
And in closing, we offer you a ticket to ride on the trust train. And remember, trust
the loving universe.
Thank you so much.
And so now I invite you all to breathe in the conscious, loving universe in and through your heart centers, 360 in all directions, embodying these words and allowing this to be the new reality of your choice. The 10 assumptions in this conscious activation of our invitation or allowing, as we put our hands on our hearts, as we breathe in and out with incredible delight and adventure in this new level of awareness and beingness. And notice how that feels. Quite amazing how this feels. So as we breathe in with the gratitude and the feeling of the conscious, loving universe that we are embodiment of, collectively, no separation as one with all of us in this unified field. How sweet is this? And so this is your ticket right here in your heart. So I invite you into 5 deeper breaths to really anchor this in as your new reality. So first breath in, touching, and breathing out, just let your hands drop. Second breath in and touching. Breathe out, let go. 3 more times in our own rhythm, breathing in, touching, letting go. Breathing in as the conscious, loving universe that we are. And finally, the 5th breath in, breathing in all the assumptions as ours, here, now, and always. So every day, do a touch and a breath and activate your ticket and get on that train. We'll see you there.
Thank you, Maureen. This really works. It seems very simple, but it really is a grounding point that connects you to all that is. And it's where you can actually live in the trust frequency. So we know all of you, evolution is not a spectator sport. Also, you may want to know that Mother Gaia, you may already know this, is of course a living, breathing being. She's moving into a new incarnation, and she's invited us to come along. It's a new dimension. It works very closely with the galactic universe, and there are many codes being ushered down into the new earth right now to help us along. And We are all here to play a role in the ecosystem of the new earth. But we must integrate, we must embody, we must live this work and become our authentic sovereign self in this ecosystem of the new earth. There's a role for everybody. Listen. And just to be clear, remember, don't worry, let the assumptions go, let the baggage go. There's no hurry because you can't miss the train. It's always leaving and it's always arriving and it's always there for you. You can never miss it. All aboard the trust train. Ride the trust frequency. Let's do it together.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Janice, thank you so much. Thank you, Connie and Andrew, Maureen and Rita, for that exquisite adventure and presentation that we've just gone on experiencing it together. You can never miss it. You can never be too late. You can never be too early. I just think that's a beautiful, beautiful message. And there's so much there to unpack in what each of you have said, from Rita's amazing stories to Maureen's, deep sharing around being able to, building upon what Rita said, change our perspectives on things, and then Connie and Andrew's real system of the 10 assumptions, and then bringing it home with trusting the loving, conscious universe. Magnificent. Thank you. I wonder, we have a few moments before we're going to have some heavenly music to help us continue this journey. Does anybody here have anything they want to say or share? We have a couple of minutes. If you'd like to say something for the panel, if you'd like to share something, if you'd like to ask a question, we just have a couple of minutes to reflect in this beautiful space of being all aboard this trust train to the new earth together. Has anybody got anything? Don't be shy. Jump in and is that Diane? Diane, did you want to
Yes.
come forward? Yes, Diane, please.
No, this is
Welcome.
yeah. Somebody. This is nearly midnight. In the UK, in London,
Great.
and somebody just knocked on my door, which is very late at night, and delivered a plant. Isn't that beautiful?
Not only is
I
it
thought I was
beautiful,
going to have to stay on the doorstep and miss the meditation and da 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 da, and they were very brief and just gave it to me and said, "I love you, I love you." Thank you, and ran away.
oh my goodness. Well,
Amazing.
that is incredible, and a lot of trust for you to open the door near midnight. That's demonstrating
Well,
trust. But if you didn't trust, you wouldn't have that experience, and you wouldn't have that beautiful
I leave my door
story.
open, to be honest. A lot of times I leave the door open. I trust the universe.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
why I'm here.
boy, there you
I'm
go.
shocked to be here, but yeah, I am. So there we
Diane,
go.
did you know the person?
I do know them, yeah.
Okay.
I've helped them over the last 24 hours. I've achieved a great thing. I've helped 2 years they've had with no gas, so no heating and no hot water. And I've just achieved that yesterday.
Oh, well done. Well, thank you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for staying up so late, and thank you for sharing that beautiful story
Well,
of
thank you.
trust
I'm so glad to be here.
and love and beauty. How magnificent. Thank you
Thank
so
you. Thank
much,
you.
Diane. Thank you for being with
Thank
us.
you.
Christy Michaels, we have time for one more comment or question for our panel, or reflection on what we've heard. Christy, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. It was very sweet, and I so appreciated the inspiration for the elevated ideals of the new earth, and just this way that you all came together with an expression, very, very touching. It reminds me of, I guess it's kind of like an old saying that if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. And so what I saw you guys doing was arguing for our expansion of infinite possibilities. So we get to keep that. Thank you. Blessing. It's a choice. There's choice in this. Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Christy. I think that's an excellent reflection on what we've just heard and just experienced. Some beautiful comments in the chat, Diane, for you. Maureen says, amazing, Diane. This will be the new Earth full of unexpected gifts. Well, that sounds like fun. And Connie and Andrew are saying, what an angel you are. Janet from Colorado Springs is saying, Diane, sending you another virtual plant. So to those who have, more will be given. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Well, thank you for sharing this uplifting
To
message of
everybody.
abundance and love and trust. Connie and Andrew, congratulations. Beautiful journey of adventure. I know we don't want to call it a panel. It was more of a moving experiential ride, and we all have benefited and we've shifted over the last 45 minutes. So thank you, Connie and Andrew. Is there anything you want to say, Connie or Andrew, as we close this section?
I just wanted to say that it's, excuse me, it's happy hour and we'll be serving cocktails in the dining car if you'd like to join us. We're going through this amazing canyon as I speak.
Right.
Magnificent.
Right.
And there's a
And
party going on in the trust frequency, and we're all invited. We'll see you there.
Wow, not a party, cocktails. Janice, I can see you want to say something.
oh, I just want to say really wanted this to be sort of a prelude and open up this channel for all the incredible people that are going to be at the New Earth Symposium next week. So we just really want to support everybody that has done such incredible work, and the people who you will see next week are people who have already visited the New Earth, like I prefaced in the beginning. They have been there, they live it, and they've just come back to bring us all there. And I just wanted to preface the opportunity we have to really live this new earth now.
And I have a travel tip. For every speaker that happens, with all of the wisdom and the joy and the embodiment of the new earth, do your touch breath, do your new earth breath, and you will embody that in your frequency that you activate every day.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Magnificent. And not only is there cocktails being served, but there's
Thank you.
live music as well. And we're going to enjoy that together. So sit back with your New Earth breathing, with your drink of choice, and we're going to enjoy this musical heavenly experience together. Let me just introduce Tammy. I'll bring you up here, Tammy, in a moment. Tammy Briggs is a therapeutic harpist. Her intention is to provide hope and healing for the world through transformational music. Tammy Briggs, thank you for being with us on the Trust Train. And I'll remove all the spotlights and then I'll just bring you up. Tammy, welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ben, for allowing both myself and Dr. Jenna Darko to be with you. We're going to do a transmission for the Trust Train around harp and horses. And our goal is to activate the trust frequency in different and vibrational ways. Before COVID, I played the harp at the hospital and hospice bedside. And when the pandemic hit, that all went away. And that's when I became involved in the peace movement. And my pathway to peace was through Tezekiah Gabriel, who I believe is on our call today, wonderful executive director of Pathways to Peace, and has been very supportive of Jenna and my work. And our goal today is really an invitation to help you with music and horses to activate your trust frequency even in a bigger, broader, and deeper way. And I am so honored to be co-leading this with Dr. Jenna Darko, and I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
Well, no,
And then
I'll
we'll-
jump in there, Tammy. A pleasure to introduce Jenna. So, Dr. Jenna Darko is a film writer, energy healer, and secret activist who earned a PhD exploring the human condition. She has been immersed with horses throughout her life and shares a message for how horses can help humanity in the transformation into the new earth. How wonderful to have you with us, Jenna.
Thank you. It is wonderful to be here. So Tammy and I are delighted to partner together, knowing that there are many pathways to peace. There are many routes that we can ride this trust train into the new earth upon, and that it all, as we know, comes down to finding ourselves in our heart, finding that place that is true within. And so for Tammy, the harp has been that kind of pathway. And for me, it's always been the horses. And as she and I began to play in our own fields and commingle, I read to her a quote that I had written years ago. And we thought that together we can offer a taste of this. And so this is in some recognition that these old paradigm ways have come with tethering or enchaining ourselves and others to some suffering. And so part of stepping into the new, coming into that fullness of our heart and being, is a matter of unwinding this wounding so that we are in this pure-hearted place where heaven and earth can meet in an embodied way that then can ripple forward into the earth. So noting that other species have long attended the human family in our construction of civilizations, but in the process, we've enchained ourselves. Now we can learn to abide in freedom and joy that is our birthright upon this beautiful earth. And there's a wonderful future ahead for horses to lead us into the higher potential as a beautiful, or as a peaceful and wise humanity, if we can learn to listen to the deeper notes being played when hoofbeats and heartbeats orchestrate the music of our intertwined souls. And I note that this can be mundane horses that we may have relation with physically in life, as well as that more cosmic sense of the horse, the symbolic, archetypal sense that has been with humanity for many years. So with Tammy, with the harp strings, we'll play our way into this heart. Recognizing that we have these kindred equine beings who were with us when we laid the foundation of the earth that is passing away, and who are with us new and fresh, and bringing a new vision, a new reality, a new consciousness, a new earth. We invoke the power of the horse, that we may ride these new currents. Ease, of grace, of knowing our own divine majesty and that of others. We are all one in this field where we can be heard together. Feeling into our imaginations how the horse touches the heavens. With hoofbeats grounds those frequencies into the earth. Inviting us to live heaven on earth through the heart. Love that we may feel brings heaven to earth. coherence now.
And as we come back together, I would like to invite us to think about a couple of paradigm shifts around music in particular. One of my goals when I play for these events is to help bring us into an altered state. Whether that's helping us drop into the meditation quickly, expanding our heart center, elevating our consciousness, or even simply coming into coherence of love and gratitude, appreciation, and peace. And the word trust comes up because when I play for these, it's literally I have to trust that my fingers will play the right notes. They will play in the frequency, in the vibration that is needed at this exact moment. And I want to just share one real quick thing about when I used to play at the hospital and hospice bedside. I would hear over and over from people, I had no idea how stressed I was. And when I heard the music, it made me self-aware of my own stress, and it gave me permission to release that stress, which helps, we know, move into that higher frequency, that higher trust elevation that Connie and Andrew have so beautifully brought that model in. So those are just a couple of thoughts that I would invite us to think about. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Jenna to do her transmission of Horses and Healing.
As Tammy and I connect on this, we really realize that it's about frequency. Is this frequency, and trust is a frequency, and connecting with one another is a matter of aligning frequencies for resonance. What I find is that the horses have really begun to call many, many, many humans into deep honesty, integrity, authenticity of connecting, of resonating in coherence with one another. And there is a great movement that is happening. I feel like I'm kind of like a rider of the Pony Express giving an update where people in the community that is really bringing the new earth, we know that there are these frequencies rising everywhere, that there is this collective shift happening in any domain of life, because we're all rising together. And it's happening in the community where horses and humans meet as well. And so there are symposiums and summits and gatherings and retreats and quiet little moments just between maybe one person and one pony happening all the time, all over the earth. And there's some momentum gathering with some of these gatherings that are happening that really have given me a whole lot of trust that this paradigm shift is really taking place, because the horses show it to me constantly. They are a great companion to humanity throughout all of these different waves and phases of our evolution of civilizations. We have ridden on their backs into transportation and war, unfortunately. We engaged their horsepower for agricultural practices and building society, moving things as industry became the goal. And all of that has had its place. And that was a lot of doing in partnership with them, or doing in ways of coercion and force and control, sometimes pain. And now we are really being called into a new way, as with all things, of being, our presence being primary, our interbeing, our in-relatedness together being what matters most, and where the trust is, where the real life is, where the truth is. And so they're calling us into being first with them from that place of the open heart, the clear mind, the ability to be in the present moment. And from that place, then being able to do in connection with them. And I believe that they are going to be here as guardians, as mentors, as wise ones, as wisdom bearers, alongside as we recalibrate from what I see as from soil to cell of the body, this earth part of this equation, and from cosmos to soul, that heaven part of the equation. And I so appreciate, Rita, that you mentioned that we are cosmic beings, we are from the stars, and so are the cats. And so we are one with them in that way, and the horses and all of creation. And the horses have, just as the cats have, the great cats in the constellation Leo, laid some tracks. The horses have laid some footprints. The ways of partnering with horse and human are embodied in, for example, the constellation Sagittarius, the great centaur, sage. And so it always has been that they are these bringers of heaven also to earth. And so this is just a small taste of what I believe that the horses will continue to unfold in these kinds of communities as more of us who are engaged in transformational work, helping heal individuals, communities, collectives, cultures, civilization, as we step into this vision of the new earth. The horses are here, the horse people are here, and I imagine many will be coming forward in various kinds of presentations and offering retreats. And that's one of the things that the horses seem to promise and encourage and sometimes like really push us along, is to build places on the ground where we can tangibly be together, meet and anchor in these new frequencies and ways of harmony with the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdoms, the animal kingdoms, the Deva realms, the heavenly realms, the angelic realms. And I know that this is just the beginning, but they have been long witnesses and they have a long view, and they will be with us. And I'll also just mention that there's a beautiful program and technique called the trust technique by a man named James French. And since this trust frequency is being really imprinted here so beautifully, it feels really wise to speak that into this space. It's all about going basically into still point, and from that place, then the peace can radiate from one's being into the field. And from that place, a equine being, he's got beautiful videos with lions also, and the trust technique at rescue sanctuaries where they've been in some kind of a traumatized way, and you set that field of that trust and that still point, and all of the anxiety can melt, and you can come into this beautiful healing and harmony. And so I just wanted to mention that might be a resource for people to check into. And so all of this is on the way. I'm seeing beautiful comments in the chat, and so happy that many of us have this as a particular heartstring that plays, and to be able to name it and bring the presence of the horse along with the whole animal kingdom, as is being planted here on this call. So thank you so very much.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Jenna and Tammy, for that beautiful heavenly experience we've just shared together, in bringing in the powerful transcendental energy of the horse and horses to assist and aid, as they've always assisted and aided humanity, and of course on this next great transition. Thank you so much for bringing that in, and Tammy, thank you for your exquisite and glorious music. I just want to call briefly on Chief Dwayne Perry, who's with us, to really respond to this essence of bringing in the horse people, anything else. Chief Perry, it's as always a privilege and a pleasure to have you among us. And I'd love to hear your reflections, maybe for Jenna and Tammy, or for anything you've experienced on the Trust Train journey so far.
Yeah, well, let me just say I'm sort of a child on this train, and it's been gratifying to understand there's a deeper understanding of self. And certainly when I look at, to me, the horse is sort of a metaphor for all of creation. And if we listen quietly to our hearts and to our minds, there's a lot that can be learned from the horses and from everyone else. And I just ask that I thank everybody for allowing me to be a small part, to be able to learn and to walk forward in this sort of different sense of trust. So I just thank you. It's a great learning, gentle learning experience for me. Thank you all.
Thank you. Love you and honor you deeply, and it's an incredible blessing to have you here among us today as we go forward